Hey everyone, let's rewind to one of the most unusual presidential elections in American history, the 1820 election. Imagine an election where only one guy is seriously running. Sounds boring, right? But trust me, there's way more to this story. So, here's the setup. James Monroe, the fifth president of the United States, was basically in a league of his own by 1820. The opposition party, the Federalists, had been crushed, obliterated really, by the Democratic Republicans. Not only did the Federalists lose public trust after the War of 1812, but their policies just didn't appeal to most Americans anymore. By the time the 1820 election rolled around, the Federalist Party was barely hanging on. In some states, they didn't even nominate a candidate. So, Monroe ran almost entirely unopposed. In fact, he won nearly every single electoral vote, except one, thanks to a quirky elector who wanted George Washington to be the only president unanimously elected. That's about as close to a clean sweep as you can get. But Monroe's popularity wasn't just about a lack of competition. This was the era of good feelings, a time when Americans felt unusually united. The country was growing fast, the economy was bouncing back, and people were feeling optimistic. Monroe played it cool. He traveled the country, reached out to former enemies, and promoted national unity. One of his biggest achievements? The Florida Purchase. In 1819, Monroe's administration negotiated with Spain, and the United States got Florida in exchange for settling some old debts. This deal expanded the country's borders and reduced threats from foreign powers in the South. Monroe also signed the Missouri Compromise, which tried to balance out the free and slave states, a big deal back then. And his famous Monroe Doctrine warned European powers to stay out of the Americas. It was a bold move and set the tone for American foreign policy for years. So why was Monroe so popular? He was seen as a steady leader who put national interests first. People were tired of political fighting, and Monroe offered something rare, a sense of calm and consensus. Sure, there were problems bubbling under the surface like slavery and sectional tensions, but for many Americans this was a golden era, and that's how James Monroe coasted to victory in the 1820 election. He wasn't just lucky, he was the right guy, at the right time, leading the country through one of its most harmonious moments. Thanks for tuning in. If you want more bite-sized history, hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.